Welcome back. You're watching 101. We're talking with award-winning comedian Russell Peters. Russell,
award-winning.
Well, not just award-winning. You were the first South Asian to sell out the Apollo Theater in New York City.
In Harlem.
Was that one of your
one of my
defining
highlights.
moments?
April 2005.
Yeah. What other ones can you remember? What really were the highlights from your career?
The Apollo, the Air Canada Centre in Toronto for 2 nights. That was 30,000 people over 2 nights. Because that's my hometown. I remember I got teary-eyed before I went on stage both nights. We played a video before the show started in Toronto. I had no opening act, and it was 15,000 people per night. And we played this video that my friend Jigar Talati, he's a director friend of mine. He put this video together for me. He had been following me around for a couple of years, documenting everything. And he put this little video together that we played before the show, and he had cut pieces of an interview he did with my dad in like the early mid-90s. And he cut pieces of my dad, so I'm backstage and I hear my dad's voice and I started getting teary-eyed. And then I hear the 15,000 people screaming and I'm like, oh boy, I hope I don't cry when I get out there. And I got on stage and I had tears in my eyes, but I'm trying to do a comedy show. And Lennox Lewis introduced me the first night. And then the second night I was trying to figure out who could introduce me. I'm like, who is special enough to do this? And then I asked my mom to introduce me the second night. So my mom came out in front of 15,000 people. And I thought my mom wouldn't be able to handle it, but turns out my mom walks out and they go, please welcome Russell's mom. And 15,000 people start screaming and clapping. My mom walks up before she even says anything, just starts waving in front of everybody. I'm like, is that my mom?
Did you say
hamming it up for the crowd.
Did you say, he will swear, but you can forgive him, he's really nice.
No. Her voice cracked though. Give it up for my son, Russell.
Now tell me, can you remember that first time that you really, the first big gig where you walked on stage and you were thinking, this is it?
I've thought this is it a couple of times and then nothing ever happened afterwards, so I've stopped thinking this is it.
In terms of where you really felt nervous going out on stage, one of the first times perhaps.
I don't know, whenever I do TV, I get a little nervous. Not crazy nervous, but if it's live TV especially, I get kind of, because if something goes wrong, like if somebody doesn't react the way I need them to, everything a comedian does is based on how you react. So,
what do you do when no one laughs? Have you had that kind of gig where you're?
Oh yeah, you still have them. That's the thing. It's the beautiful thing about being a comedian. Your success is never above bombing. You're never above bombing, no matter who you are.
What goes through your head when that happens?
Who the hell do these people think they are? Your ego goes through your head at that point. Do you know what I've done? You know what I mean? Like. It's humbling.
The thing, I grew up in an area where I used to hear so many different accents living in London growing up, and it seems that in the mixed culture of Canada, you got the same thing, certainly Toronto and Brampton area. I notice you're really good with accents. Really good with accents. Is it something you just, you have to work hard at, or does it just come?
It's one of those things where if I think I can do it, I'll try it. I can't do a Scottish accent to save my life. And I'm sure you can, growing up in England.
But you differentiate between Mandarin and Chinese, Cantonese Chinese, for example. Yeah,
like I do the weird ones, I do the odd little differences. I can do the different Caribbean accents, from Trinidadian to Jamaican to Bajan to Guyanese, but I can't do Scottish. And it's Scottish is the one that's got me. But I can't do it. And white people could do it at the drop of a dime.
Could be a color thing. Yeah.
I think it really is.
Although when you hear actually an Indian speaking with a heavy Scottish accent because they were born there, is quite a shock as well.
That tripped me out as well. Or being in Birmingham and seeing a Chinese girl at this restaurant with a heavy Brahmi accent. That messed me up too.
Chinese people and Indian people cannot do business together. Because Indians cannot live without a bargain and Chinese people cannot give you a bargain.
In terms of observing life, I notice you talk a lot about day-to-day observations, often things that you've come across in other cultures and around the world. What is it you keep your eyes open for?
Just something that seems a little odd to me. I base everything from my perspective, which is, I say my perspective, but it's really from a North American's perspective. And or anybody from the Western world, if you will you. And whatever seems odd to me. And the reason I investigate it more is because, okay, it's odd to me, but it's normal to them. Well, why is it? So maybe what I do is odd to them. So I like to find out both sides. I'm a Libra. Maybe that's what it is. I like to know both sides of everything in order to make fun of it. I can't just make fun of something from one side and not understand their perspective. So I make sure I know both their reason and why I'm laughing and why they would laugh at me for certain things.
Now, what about testing the new material? Is there someone on whom you test that material?
No, I basically just get on stage and try it out. If I think it's going to work, I'll sell it like I think it's going to work. And if I'm unsure of it, I'll just get on at a club, on a comedy club, like on a Monday or Tuesday night when I'm not working, and just pound it out.
So you've tried out in a sort of non-official capacity.
Yeah. That's basically how comics do it. You know, we work like Thursday to Sundays, and then Monday to Thursdays we're in the comedy clubs or whatever we're doing, sharpening up the new stuff that we're trying to work out on.
Who makes you laugh?
There's a lot of guys out there that are really funny now. There's actually too many to name, in fact. But, I mean, the comedy game has really stepped up. Like, guys have really been writing and coming up with some really clever and funny, really funny stuff. Stuff that makes you go, damn it, I wish I thought of that.
What goals have you set yourself in life? Do you have, a particular burning ambition to achieve something in particular?
It sounds really shallow, but I set my goals monetarily.
It
I know,
works for
but that works for me,
some,
you know?
Yeah, it works for some.
I set it by, what do I want? Physical, give me something tangible that I want. And now I'm at a place where there's not a lot I can't get financially, so
So you have to find a new
I've set
goal.
it now to an airplane. I want to buy an airplane. So I think until I hit that goal, then I'll set it to something else. But otherwise, I appreciate being the first guy in this business to become successful with it, and to be known as the godfather of Indian comedy, I guess. And it's an exciting feeling to know that you were the first. And if I can quote Grandmaster Flash in this one, to quote Grandmaster Flash, I was the first. There will never be anybody before me. There may be thousands of people after me, and they may be better than me, but I'll always be first.
I love it when people concern themselves with stuff that's never going to affect their life. You know what I mean? Same-sex marriages, I got bigger things to worry about than a same-sex marriage. I got to worry about an arranged marriage.
Now, is marriage on the cards like a good Indian boy? You joke about it sometimes.
Not so much for me. I don't know. I just don't have the... I mean, I appreciate it. If it works for you, that's
No pressure
great.
from your mother?
Now, my brother just got married last year, and his wife is great. And so now we got to focus on them.
So it takes the pressure off.
Right?
Yeah. Any places you haven't had a chance to perform you'd like to go?
We're setting it up now. We're going to Egypt, I think. I really want to go to Egypt. South America, I don't think is in the cards because they don't speak English. There's not a lot of places left for me not to go. I mean, I've been to Greenland and performed, so I'm going to Norway, Sweden this year, Philippines.
You're on the road a lot.
I'm on the road a lot. I'm always tired. People are like, why do you sleep so much? Because when I get the chance, I do.
How do you think people are going to remember you? What's going to be the legacy of Russell Peters?
I don't know, because that would mean I would have to know what they thought of me now. I hope I'm not a flash in the pan for them, because my career certainly, to me, wasn't a flash in the pan. It's 20 years already and counting. So as a comedian, that's the wonderful thing. You may think a comedian has fallen off. I know before I moved to LA, there was lots of comics I was like, man, whatever happened to that guy? And then I end up working with them, like on a Monday or Tuesday night, they're working out new material. And I'm like, well, you're still doing it? They're like, yeah, what did you think? Just because I'm not on TV anymore, you thought I had fallen off the face of the earth? But comedians' careers go forever.
Well, Russell, wish you a lot of luck, and thank you very much for talking with us.
Thanks, Riz.